Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching today. Today, I am joined by Ruth Bratt and Etuk, who are about to star in An Improbable Musical at the Royal in Derngate from Friday, 25th of February to Saturday, the 5th of March. Link for tickets is below. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Can you first tell me about yourselves and a little bit about the show?
Well, I'm Ruth Bratt. I've been improvising for a long time, how long? Too long. I know Lee from Improbable, from the Comedy Store Players and various other improv things. And he was like, "Do you want to do a musical?" And I went, "Yeah, go on then." So that's why I'm here.
I'm Janet, actor, deviser, dancer, puppeteer, and Lee did the same with me. He approached me, he said, would you like to do a musical? And I said, why the hell not? And he said all the things that were going on in his mind at the time. But because it is one of those shows where we don't know where those ideas are quite going to come in at any point, I was even more excited, like a sort of terrified excitement that I had to do it, sort of thing, if that makes sense. I've been devising more, so I've been devising for a very long time. I'd say maybe 10 years, over 10 years. And puppetry, do most my puppetry work with Improbable. So I've been working with them for 3 productions now, and usually in the puppetry field or devising from scratch and just having a play. So, yeah.
Yeah. What was it that first attracted you to doing improvisation?
Genuinely, the very first improv I did was I was up in Edinburgh doing stand-up, and my mate who I was in a play with went, "I'm doing an improvised thing. Do you want to come and do it?" And I went, "Yeah, go on then." And so my first improv experience was in front of a full audience. And I went, "Ooh, this is fun, isn't it?" Oh, and it was like a click, like, oh, that's the thing that I didn't know I wanted to do, that I didn't even know you could do as a job, and there it was. So it was just, I think what I love about it is that it's ephemera, right? It's there and then it's gone, and it can only be there for that moment with those people in that atmosphere, in that room. You know, change one element and the whole thing changes, even if you haven't asked for it, or even if you haven't consciously noticed it. You know, and it's also the only art form where the audience discover it at exactly the same time as the performers. No one knows until it happens, and everyone's encountering it for the first time together. And I think it's very addictive. It's really addictive, and it also makes you quite lazy about learning lines, because you go, come make something out. Which I don't think writers like very much. You know. Yeah, so that's what keeps me going back. It's the addictive.
It's really magical. Because of that, I find it a really magical experience that you have no idea what's going to happen, and then you're finding out as the audience finds out. I mean, I don't know it. There's no other form, I don't think, that has that. So yeah.
Obviously, you're in rehearsals now. How's the kind of rehearsal process work? Because obviously you're rehearsing stuff that's obviously never going to get seen, I suppose.
Well, so at the moment, because it's still quite early doors. So at the moment we're sort of learning skills, and it's almost like we're doing little workshops. We were all saying it's a bit like going back to school.
Definitely, yeah.
So we've done movement workshops and puppetry workshops and singing workshops and improvisation workshops. So it's like learning lots of different skills and having a carry bag
of
tools
yeah.
that we can pluck out at any point, you know. So there's a lot of stuff like, you know, with the singing, a lot of it is just like, how do you make a noise that sounds like, you know, what happens if we all do this? And what happens if we all do this? And, you know, so it's at the moment it's very exploratory.
Very, and it's only now I think we're kind of edging towards starting to mold them both together. So if we've got puppetry, what would that be like with singing, or if we're doing I don't know, just acting, then how can we incorporate, I don't know, a piece of paper that will turn into the wind or something, you know, which goes with puppetry as well. But yeah, it's just getting to that point where we're experimenting, but it's slowly forming into something.
I mean, it sounds weird, but yesterday we had a piece of material. I don't even know what it is. It's like sort of like plastic sheeting, and we were, you know, it was all about experiencing different materials and how you can make puppetry out of them. And I think we basically refused to put it down.
No, we were playing with it for at least like 15-20 minutes.
I go, watch out, watch this, it looks like a wave.
No, it's so much fun. Yeah.
Does it ever like become difficult to then like throw away ideas? Because obviously, like you say, when you've done a successful thing, is it ever difficult to then not obviously like go back to it?
The plastic sheeting.
Yeah.
The reason why we wanted people to watch it was we'd found this, you know, because you can't control it because it's plastic sheeting. And there'd been this moment where it had rolled over itself like a wave, you know, like when you see those pictures of surf. And then we kind of wanted to do it again, but it didn't do it. And it makes you learn really quickly. It's like you can try and do it again, but it's not going to happen. So you might as well let it go. I mean, there are definitely things that have happened. Like we did some songs yesterday and they were beautiful. They were all just beautiful. And they've gone now and I can't remember them well enough to recreate them. But
I think that's why the ephemeral kind of spirit of it is definitely there because of that. Like we're doing things that we love, but then it's gone and we can try and recreate it, but it won't have the same quality because it just won't. It's improvised on the spot, and there was it's something about the sheeting, for example, that we knew how gorgeous it was, and we both our eyes just lit up at the same time. She's like, "Did you see it?" But you know, we knew that it wasn't going to be as well, you know. But I guess the thing is, we knew that it could do that, and because we know that it works, we can incorporate it somehow in the piece, and if it happens to go that beautiful way, then it does, and if not, then it doesn't, you know. So I guess we're experimenting to see what the potential of each item, of each potential puppet could be in the show, you know, how we can work with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to start like dishing dirt, but does ever like ideas crash with each other? Like you have a bit of like friction when you're obviously like doing improv kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's a group of people who some people know each other better than other people. You know, so some people have worked together before, but it's really joyful, like finding where you fit. Finding, so what's my connection with this person? What's my connection with this person? And how do I connect with them in a different way? And I mean, I think improvisers tend to rub along pretty well actually because you're so used to letting things go and just going that's gone because you kind of have to, you know. So I mean, touch wood and everything, but it's all felt remarkably frictionless and kind of. I know. Definitely looking for it's been. It's interesting because like this morning we've had a very kind of weirdly intense talk just before this, but it's all very with love and supported, and you know,
so much support.
All those theatre things. That as me as an improviser who doesn't do a lot of theatre, I find myself going, gosh, this is all very theatre, which I sort of love. I'm really.
But I think that is it. I think because there is so much support, whatever we're thinking, even if to you it might sound negative or might sound completely different to what another person's saying, it's always supportive. So yeah, I can't really think of.
There isn't many. It's just a lot of
Good.
people trying to, because we're all working towards the
this
same
together.
goal, I guess.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Good.
And-
That's good to hear, though. Obviously.
no one's awful so far. I mean,
So
unless
far.
it's that one. We just don't know.
You don't know.
We've come up here and they're all talking.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. You'll go back down. Like, yeah, you find out. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I've got 5 quick fire questions for you both. So be prepared. What was the first piece of theatre that you remember seeing?
I don't remember what it was, but I remember there was a big puppet mouse in it called Beatty Mouse that scratched its own bum. That's all I remember. I think I was about 5. I don't. Just a mouse scratching its bottom. That was literally the first one I can remember fully.
I think mine was a Buzzing Alone, but I was in primary school and they were doing Buzzing Alone on stage. And I remember them walking off the stage into another room, but because it's a stage, you don't know where it's going, where they're going. I'm thinking, I want to go. Where are they? What's the room like there? Instead of focusing what's happening, I was just like, this is magic. What's going on? What's behind? Where's the room? Where's it? What's what? So yeah, that's my own.
Maybe this is the difference between like an improviser and a deviser. You're like, I want to follow the room, and I'm like, I want to see a man scratching his bum. Yeah, I mean, it was amazing.
Brilliant. And what would be one thing on your bucket list? Can be anything.
Theatre-wise, or just anything.
Anything.
I want to go and learn. This is genuinely true. There's a monk, a female monk in South Korea, who teaches cooking, and it's all vegan because obviously she's a Buddhist monk. I didn't believe it. And I watched the thing about her, and she grows all her own food, and she makes these amazing like feasts, but temple feasts. But like if she picks lettuce leaf and an animal has eaten around it, she's like, well, that is now a perfect leaf. That's because it's perfect in its imperfection, and that speaks to me. Yeah. That's what I want to do. Desperate to do.
Wow, that's really clear, and I know that.
You know that Chef Table?
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. Do you know? Because I was just speaking about my bucket list with another member, Aya, who's an incredible puppeteer, does puppetry with us, and I was speaking about my need to go to Japan, and I did it. That was like number 1 on the bucket list. So now it's like, oh, okay. Good. Well, I want to do that again, but also I need to find, maybe just traveling more, but because there's so much of the world that I want to see. But no, that was really top.
Yeah, that's pretty good answers, to be fair. This is a difficult question, though. If you could have dinner with 3 comedy heroes, they can be dead or alive, who would you invite?
There's so many.
There's
so many I'd have dinner with. I would Catherine Hepburn every time. Who else would I have there? We'd go well with Catherine Hepburn. Everyone should be so aesthetic.
Yeah.
Victoria Wood. And then I feel like I should have a man in there for. Who else? God, there's so many. Oh, Lucille Ball. Oh, Betty White. All the Golden Girls. Does that count as one?
Yeah, well, we can have that.
You've got a whole list. Narrow it down.
Yeah, 3 is hard.
3 is hard.
Michaela Cole.
Oh yeah.
I just love her to bits. Kevin Hart, I think is very funny. Oh. Who's Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
I'd be interested to, yeah.
Yeah,
She'd be interesting.
should be good. Very
Yeah.
good. What would be the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I swear.
You can.
That's the best piece of advice. And it wasn't kind of given to me. It was during a show. We do 50-hour improvathons, so we stay awake for 50 hours and we just do a whole story. And one of the characters, because everyone's tired, so someone was being a bit difficult, and one of the other actors, because you lose all your sort of censorship, and he just went, "Oh man, there's no need to be a dick about it," and it's sort of become a mantra for me. I'm like, just don't be a dick about it, because it works for everything. You know, works for theatre, works for, and it can mean anything as well. It can mean anything. It means just don't be. But I think that's the best advice I've ever been given by mistake.
That's good.
I think mine's going to be a swearing one as well.
That's all good.
Just whenever I'm doing something new or just writing something or doing something that's creative and then thinking, oh no, it's not going very well. Then there was this one, I don't know who it's by. I just actually saw it. A friend told it to me, and then I actually found it on the net. Just remember who the fuck you are. Like, yeah, I can do it. Yeah.
Very true. Last quick fire question though is, if you had to improvise a musical about yourselves, what would you call it?
Wow. So one of my favourite memories of improv was in another of these 50-hour things, and we were doing a thing. Again, really tired. we were peeling potatoes. We were sort of just me and my mate with this background peeling potatoes. And for some reason, it annoyed the person who was in front of us, and they were like, "Could you just mash those potatoes?" And because of the logic of your brain, I was like, "Well, if we're peeling them, they're raw. I mean, they're mined potatoes. They're not. But you know, your logic brain goes, well, that's a raw potato then." And so we got a masher that didn't exist, and obviously they were pinging off in all directions because they were raw. And then I looked behind us, and there were two rifles just propped up. Someone had left them on the stage, so we picked up the rifles and just started shooting potatoes. So I think mine would be called Shooting Potatoes, and then people would have to make of it whatever they wanted. Because I feel that's what life is. Life is just someone telling you to do a thing, and you going, "I'm really trying my hardest to do it. But all I can do is shoot potatoes." That's true. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Shooting potatoes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be a bag of something. Like, you know, it would just be a bag of something by Janet. A bag of, depending on, a mess. A bag of
bag of wonder, bag of questions,
a bag of ephemeral.
Why couldn't it just be a bag of?
Bag of, the bag of. You can do that,
That's then different every night.
Yeah.
A bag of ... by Janet.
I like that.
There you go. That's a good
I'd
idea.
probably a bag of. Yay!
Yeah, I'd be there. There you go. That's your next show.
Done.
The final question for you is the big sell moment for you guys. Why should audiences come and see Improbable?
There is so much in it. I mean, that we haven't, because we are still early days, there's so much in it at the moment that there's not one person that's not going to sit there and not find something that they connect with, that excites them, that magical for them. We've got so many materials, so many different artists, so many different musicians, it's just got so many colors and qualities to it that just make the piece, and will make the piece every single night different, but also incredible. And there's just nothing like it at the moment that is like it. I think I'm getting too run away with myself. I got too excited.
Yeah. That's why they should come. They're just getting too excited. But it's because if you want to see something that only you will see, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like an experience in a theatre that no one will ever see again. Only you will see that. It's kind of bespoke to you without you having to actually do anything. You know, it's not like enforced. That's the, you know, it's important. So it's not enforced audience participation. You know, it's not like we're going to go, you must talk to us, you know, but there, I mean, who knows? I think there will be there's definitely interaction. We don't know what any of it will be yet. But it can only be for you that night. And if you're not there, it won't happen. But, you know, imagine that. Your being there is the thing that will make it be the thing that it will be. And if you're not there, it will be something else completely.
That is deep. That is a great way to it's a great way to end. So thank you very much for your time today. Good luck with the production. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So I shall think of some ideas in case you interact with me. So I will throw the bag at you. I'm going to throw the bag if I come.
Throw the bag.
Throw a bag.